Jacob, we got some breaking news, and I want to credit our guy Nick McSwain here, breaking the news on the spot.
Let's go.
The Packers have actually made a hire. All right. So here we go. Let's dive into it. The breaking news from Matt Zenitz, who's been all over these Packers hires. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but this dude has just been lights out reporting on all this. So the Packers are hiring Penn State's Noah Pauley as wide receivers coach. Sources tell CBS Sports. Rising star who interviewed for the 49ers OC job last year. Very interesting. Has developed future top three round draft picks like Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, and current Packer Christian Watson. So love this. The fact that here's a guy that at Iowa State, we were talking about, you remember when we were talking about Jaden Higgins and we were talking about Jalen Noel, like who is their wide receiver coach? We talked about that on the show because that dude he is churning out some NFL level prospects. This is really exciting. So if he jumps in as wide receivers coach, and I know we already dropped that down off of the Patreon page, but I'm going to pull it back up. Let's see how this could potentially change things here. And Jacob, what's your initial thoughts? Because I know you were heavy into the draft process with us last year. Obviously, we talked about Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel all the time, and then the fact that he's got ties to Christian Watson a little bit earlier as well is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it is very, very interesting. I think Jaden Higgins was, Tim's draft crush for sure. I also kind of mirrored that, and it's an interesting guy because I believe they're both kind of that same type of frame, 6'4", 6'5", just long, really, really good athletic guys, same as Christian Watson. And I believe it's called Jalen Noel is what we've been corrected. But yeah, anyways, both of them went to the Texans, I believe. And they just there was something about them that when scouts looked at them, they said they were kind of polished. They were NFL ready as rookies, which is something that you don't always get. You know, we've had a lot of different players in our years that when we draft them, they said, well, they're really good at this, but they lack this kind of thing. I feel like he's the type of coach that's getting these guys absolutely just ready to go from day one, which nowadays when you draft a wide receiver in the NFL, it's almost like you expect them to be able to be plug and play, which was not the case back in the day. And if you have a coach that's able to develop and get these guys ready for, like I said, when they draft them, they're ready to go, put them in your starting lineup. It's pretty intriguing to have that type of player going, or that type of coach, I should say, going in to coach our players, especially with the wide receiver room that we have. We've already been kind of talking about how greedy and blessed we are at that wide receiver position. Things may shake up a little bit, obviously going into this next year with the guys like maybe Dobbs and certain others that may not be on the roster anymore, but it's going to be pretty exciting to see what a guy like this can do to that room, which, like I said, was already, kind of peaking the ceiling. I feel like that he could break through that ceiling and absolutely make these guys, because, we talked about it many, many times. There was a weird year where we had a lot of drops. There was a couple stuff where, maybe not being on the same page as Jordan and running the routes that were necessarily supposed to be ran at that certain point. If you get a guy in here that absolutely knows how to just hotwire wide receivers' minds, let's go, dude. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, Chad Inc. in the chat says, Coach Klein, I was with Mama and Coach Klein at the same time last night. Oh, you are a bad boy. Remember that on The Water Boy? Come on, guys. I know you know what I'm talking about that. I think that I'm assuming that was a Water Boy reference there. Chad, confirm for us in the comments if you don't mind. But all right, so let's talk about this new hire here in Noah Pauley. Was I correct, Jacob, or not?
I'm just thinking about the Water Boy and laughing.
All right. So Noah Pauley is a highly regarded wide receiver coach known for his elite development of talent. On February 4, 2026, reports confirmed that Pauley is leaving his newly accepted position at Penn State to join the Green Bay Packers coaching staff as a wide receivers coach. This move reunites him with his former standout pupil, Christian Watson. Below's a chronological breakdown. All right, so here we go. Playing career. He played football from 2007 to 2010. He was a reliable 4-year starter and key contributor to one of the most successful runs in Division II history. All right, college, he played at the University of Minnesota, Duluth. His highlights, he was a member of two NCAA Division II national championship teams in 2008 and 2010. His stats in 47 career games, he recorded 100 receptions for 1,108 yards and 9 touchdowns. He also served as the team's primary punt and kick returner. Injury note, his playing career ended on a bittersweet note when he suffered a season-ending injury in 2010 quarterfinals, forcing him to watch the national championship victory from the sidelines. High school, he was a 3-sport star at Duluth Central High School in Minnesota. Now, coaching, quickly went through the coaching ranks there. Collegiately from 2011 to 2025, Pauley's rise through the college ranks features multiple national championships and a National Coach of the Year honor. Minnesota Duluth from 2011 to 2014 began as a student assistant before serving as a graduate assistant in 2013-2014. He stayed on there from 2018, returned to his alma mater as the offensive coordinator and wide receivers coach. In 2016, his offense averaged 45.1 points per game. North Dakota State, so he moves on to North Dakota State from 2019 to 2022. Obviously, he served as a wide receivers coach. He won 2 FCS national championships in 2019, 2021, and was instrumental, I repeat, instrumental in developing Christian Watson into a second-round pick for the Packers. He moved on to Iowa State in 2023 to 2025, served as a wide receivers coach and was promoted to passing game coordinator in 2024. And then in 2024, he was named the FootballScoop.com National Wide Receivers Coach of the Year after mentoring 2 1,000-yard receivers in Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins in the same season. So you could see how he's quickly, everything he's gone, everywhere he's went, Jacob, everything he's touched has turned to gold here. It says his transition to the NFL follows a brief test run with the Packers and a high-profile hiring cycle. Obviously here, he worked with the Packers wide receivers as a part of the NFL's Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship. So he was actually with the Packers the summer of 2022. I did not know that. That's wild. And then in 2026, Penn State briefly joined Matt Campbell's new staff at Penn State as a wide receivers coach. So you know Matt Campbell, Jacob. He'd matter in hell. Matt Campbell said, "Oh, I'm going to go get this stud wide receiver coach. Come on in." Didn't even get to the first week of the season. The Packers already came a calling. So there's your new wide receiver coach in Coach Noah Pauley. Success has followed him everywhere he's went. He played football at the collegiate level, just like most of this coaching staff. You see how many former players are on these coaching staff? And it's all players who their career was cut short because of injury.
Yep.
This guy right here, mark my words, we're going to look up in 2 or 3 years, and he's going to be an OC somewhere. There's no doubt in my mind.
I was just going to say, this feels like the type of trajectory that, the NFL is looking for. Young, talented coaches that have been there, that has the leadership qualities. And because, like you said, that they've played, anytime that you have a boss that's done it, that that has done it, that matters, man. Like we always talk about, that people don't care what you know until they know that you care. That's the type of player that the type of coach that I think players want to play for. And he does seem like that he's on that amazing path of kind of being like a young up and comer. And I would even say that, yeah, OC for sure. I think in like 3-4 years, I'm talking head coach type of, this is just the path that it seems like everywhere he's went, he's left a trail of gold. You know what I mean? So it feels as if, even like you said, going from Penn State and then having guys from the NFL already trying to get him into their building in 2022. Mm-hmm. To me, that says, all right, we see what you're doing, son. We'll see you in a couple of years, kind of thing. And lo and behold, here it is. And I am very, very, very excited. Just like you got to be kidding me saying, I like the hire. I absolutely love the hire.
Yeah, completely agree. Chad Inc. did confirm it was a Waterboy reference. Not there we go. We got it. Which part are we eating? If I had to say we were eating a part, I'd say it's neat. Mike Z says this guy will be here for a year. I don't know if that's a sad emoji or what, but it's a great point. Like, that's the bad thing about hiring good coaches, right, Mike Z? You know they're going to be gone quick. Now, here's the thing. It is an option, right, that if you really like what he brings to the table and then someone comes a poaching, you can potentially promote him to offensive coordinator and move on from Stenovich next year, right? So it does kind of feel like Matt LaFleur is putting all his ducks in a row to where, all right, we can continue to improve, right? Continue to improve this coaching staff as they get poached. And that's the thing that Matt LaFleur doesn't get enough credit for is, in my opinion, is he's had to deal with all these coaches leaving, right? Yeah. Like, it just year after year, his coaching staff gets poached. Well, now we get to see Ben Johnson just lost his OC. So now we get to see, how does Ben Johnson respond to losing people, right? We said this last year. If you're going, you're overblowing this, Clayton. Last year we said the same thing about
Campbell.
Right. We said, let's see what Dan Campbell can do without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn now. What happened? they missed the playoffs, right? So, again, now that's why, in my opinion, it's more important to have a play calling, offensive minded coach to kind of keep the ship stable on offense. And then you're kind of constantly having to replace the DCs as opposed to the opposite. So I think Ben Johnson is going to be in a little bit better shape than most coaching staffs, because obviously he's the offensive mastermind there. But I think it's a great point there, though, Mike. Let me highlight this real quick. Thomas, I don't know if you meant to do a super chat or not, or if you're just being general or generous there, Bubba. But we greatly appreciate the tip there, man. Thanks for throwing.
He went on to say, "You guys are the best Packer content on YouTube."
Hey, you're the
pretty
man,
nice guy, Tommy.
Yeah, we got him. We got Thomas full, but we greatly appreciate it, buddy. Thank you so much, man. Again, this is it's all fan driven, dude. We're all just in here having a conversation as Packer fans, but we greatly appreciate the dono there, Bub. All right, so there you go, guys. There is your new coaching hire. Again, breaking news right here on PTA. Penn State coach Noah Pauley. Obviously, he was recently with Iowa State. He was recently with before that, he was with North Dakota State coach Christian Watson. He's now reunited with Christian Watson. He was part of the 2022 program there, the Bill Walsh Diversity Program in Green Bay, and now he is going to be your new wide receivers coach. I am jacked. I may be more excited about this hire than the Bobby Babich hire, to be honest with you, man. This is great news for the Packers. Look, what's he going to do with Jaden Reed, right? What's he going to do with Matthew Golden, right? This is good stuff. So if you guys are watching this back later, let us know in the comments. How do you feel about this hire? Do you agree with it? Do you think this is Matt putting him in a position that maybe he could potentially be the offensive coordinator here in the near future?
Ooh.
You know, we'll see as time tells. Again, and I do want to reach out and give our condolences to the Penn State program. Sorry. You had him for like 10 minutes and the Packers came to call him. Is what it is, man. So let us know in the comments. How do you feel about the hire? Make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you catch all the content moving forward. All right, Jacob, we did not expect that. Thank you for breaking that, though, man. You're the man. You and Nick McSwain. Greatly appreciate
it. It was
that.
Nick, wasn't me. Just reading some chats.
And again, dude, that's why I love what we do here, man. Again, everybody just running through information in the chat. Notice nobody's in here arguing. It's just awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Sharing Waterboy references.
Exactly.